Right now, something a little bit different for us. For the first time in an Ultimate Pool event, we have the wheelchair action underway. We saw two great semi-finals of this a little bit earlier. Tony Southern at the table now with his opening break. Got through in a very impressive manner against Aslam Abu Baker. And his opponent in this one, Dave Bowman, came through really, really nicely against Gary Swift. Two really super performances. And hopefully, you know, generally a pretty good indicator that we're in for a good final when the two matches prior have been excellent. Both players have had a chance to settle, get a bit of a grip with the table. And all the signs are good. Very warm welcome as we take a look at Dave Beaumont there to everyone watching us on Facebook and YouTube. A great showcase for this event for the wheelchair pool community. Tony Southern is a fantastic player and has been a big part of the that wheelchair Q Sports community. He plays everything, Tony Southern. He's a multiple time national champion in wheelchair snooker. Plays 9-ball to a very high level, and he's a multiple time world champion in 8-ball as well.
Tricky little layout here. It's the red on the right hand side that's getting most of the attention right now. Just wonder if there's an angle to deal with it straight away. That was the shot I was thinking, but with just maybe a touch more pace and a trace of side to get the cannon.
So if you are watching us for the first time this evening with the Ultimate Pool Wheelchair Showcase, just a reminder of the rules and the differences, I suppose, to what we're used to seeing. So it's a race to 4 in the final with a 30-minute match clock. Shot clock is set at 45 seconds and won't change. 45 on every shot all the way through. It's a lovely pot by Dave Beaumont. Really, really nice shot there. And obviously the biggest difference is the players are in wheelchairs, which does just affect the way they address the table, the way they can address the cue ball. You'll see a lot more rest shots than you ordinarily might do. But as we saw earlier, these boys are super players.
It does change the patterns. It changes the way you have to go about clearances,
yeah,
and the thought process. But you know, as long as you're mindful of that, you can still put together some amazing clearances out there. We saw that all through the afternoon.
Yeah, Dave Beaumont played really solidly and very aggressively against Gary Swift. That was a real feature of his game. Went after pretty much everything and did it very successfully in the main as well. Whereas Tony Southern wasn't afraid to play the percentages every now and then, but he also took down finish of the day for me with a stunning double, which not only went in but also developed a ridiculous problem ball at the same time. This is a big shot coming up for Dave Beaumont here.
Yeah, he may well look back at this and think he's missed a trick there with that first shot, because the shot was definitely on. And he's tried to develop it there, what, 3-4 shots later, and now he's in quite a spot of bother. Especially having to play this red, because it's going to pop the yellow into play. There you go, even just moving it, and to be fair, he has played the shot really well, because it looks like he may have the snooker back, but yellows have control here. As long as he can get out the snooker, he's got control of the frame.
Extension call.
So Tony calls his extension. He's just trying to line this one up, just to make sure. Has he been left on the potting angle here? Yeah, just squeezes it in. The yellows are all right, I
Yeah.
think, if you're Tony Southern.
They are. Just got to figure out the right way. Try and get... You could go about this a couple of different ways. Do you clear the ones at the bottom first and then go up, or do you go up off this one now? And the reason I think I'd rather have gone up first is simply because right centre connects to the yellow bottom right, but then the shot up the table could be tricky without the perfect angle. Whereas if he'd gone up the table there, got rid of the two at the top, then it could have been a little bit simpler. He could go up the table now and leave the other one at the bottom, but it wouldn't be a great last ball. So this becomes the key shot.
He's got himself a nice angle though. Just a track across towards the left side of the table where he'll to be just off the straight to the one to the top left, leaving nicely in on the one to the right centre. One of the features of Tony's game, and for quite a few of the wheelchair players, is they're very good at playing with very, very long bridges. It's a real test of, cue skill, really. It does make control of the cue ball harder when you just move that little bit further away from your work. I think that's what Tony's found there. He's not perfect on this yellow, got a little bit too much angle, but it's just about controlling the pace at this stage.
He has got maybe, in an ideal world you can just drop this in, but I think he's going to have to use the right hand side cushion, and that's where this one could go wrong. You get too much bite in it and you could get the cannon not enough and you could end up on the top cushion. In the end he's played it to perfection, to be fair. That's brilliant.
That's perfect. Couldn't have picked it up with his hand and played it better.
The only thing to guard here is he's just off straight, which means the cue ball's sort of drifting into the red. Is make sure you don't leave yourself hampered. You want to just trick past the red. You do not want to be bridging over it.
Yeah, and even more so when it comes to wheelchair players, because... Oh, he's missed a yellow.
I'm sure he can believe it.
I think he's telling us he can't. Let's have another watch of this.
Yeah, you could tell he was conscious of the red. He wanted to pot the yellow, and he knew he was flicking the red, and that was probably getting all his attention, and he forgot about the pot.
Yeah, that's a crazy miss from Tony Southern.
Yeah, and he's left Dave in perfect shape, isn't he? Right in between the two reds on the right-hand side, so you then just have to cue them in. Same here. Don't need to try and pull this back for 8 ball in the middle. Just stop it dead and take the 8 ball long. And that was the plan.
And whilst that was the plan, he's got second prize. If he drops that in, I think that probably goes in, but the fact he's tried to punch it with pace, Pocket hasn't accepted it, but he has got second prize in a very difficult cue ball for Tony to deal with. But Tony will just be delighted to be back at the table here, and I think he can cut this in.
Definitely cuts, but it's not an easy one.
He knows it was close. He's frustrated, Tony. He really is.
Especially with the fact that he knows he should have won the frame on his previous visit. That adds to the frustration out there.
Yeah. Dave Beaumont will not be missing these.
Cue ball.
Oh.
Ooh, it's so quick out there.
He knew straight away as well. As soon as he played it, it was almost like he forgot. And as soon as he played it, he looked to the heavens and thought, oh no.
Does mean this is a little like fiddly on the cushion. You can see his hand is uncomfortable, it's on the pocket. And okay, it's an 8 ball he should make, but you just got to make sure.
Yeah, and it goes. I did speak with Dave after his victory earlier on. I said, how did you find it out there? And he said, yeah, it's crazy how quick that table plays. And it did catch him out on a couple of occasions. But he's got there. He almost can't believe what he did. But he's fine. He's fine. He's He's very experienced, is Dave Beaumont, but his story is quite amazing. 56 years of age and a 3-time world champion. But he's a local league player, just played local league with his mates in the pubs until 2014, when a couple of his mates suggested, why don't you enter the World Championships in Blackpool? We were there last year, and we reckon you've got every chance. So in he entered. What does he do on the first time he turns up? He wins it. And the rest, as they say, is history. He's won it twice since. And
it's such an amazing story, it really is. And just another great pool player from Stoke as well.
Yeah, there's plenty of them. He's also got the best break that we saw out of the 4 earlier on today. He really gets some power through the pack, which, considering he's using all upper body...
Oh, it's a brilliant break, it really is.
It's pure timing, that.
Yeah, there's a few things on the technique on it's fantastic, and he brings the cue ball back, so it's not on the break line. A lot of players in pool kind of put it on the break line and reaching. He gets it to a position where he knows he can strike it with maximum power at maximum acceleration at the moment of impact, generating maximum power, and he squares it up every time. It's very impressive to watch.
Yeah, it really is. Because on a lot of breaks, you'll see quite a few players will always put their hips into it and use a bit of body movement to generate that extra power. But of course, David can't do that. Pure timing and upper body, and he's got all the tools of a very, very impressive break.
Okay, feels forced into the slightly worse colour set here. I think reds were slightly, well, they were easier, no doubt about it, but
certainly are now.
Yeah, he didn't have a good opener.
Yeah, wanted to keep his extension in the back pocket, so hence not taking the extension there. I do think if he wasn't rushed on that shot, he probably makes it. Tony Southern to the table. I'd probably say for my money, so we watched both semi-finals earlier, Tony looked the most accomplished and the most comfortable out there of the 4 players, and
he definitely made the clearance of the semi-finals, certainly the shot of the semi-finals, because I think Dave made a brilliant clearance in his match as well, to be fair. But yeah, I can get on board with that assessment, but I didn't see much between these two.
True. Yeah, very true.
On their performances this afternoon.
Yeah, Tony's story a little different to David's. He's a cerebral palsy player, which has gradually sort of deteriorated his condition over the years. So grew up playing pool and snooker, one of so many people who had a little table in their bedroom when they were young.
Familiar story. Can relate to that myself.
Yeah. Got him hooked on the game. But as the use of his legs almost went away, so the wheelchair Q Sports came into his vision, and he's good mates with another fairly famous Scouse cueist in John Parrott, who sort of convinced him to really take it seriously all the way back in the early 80s. And well, I mentioned with Dave, but for Tony, really the rest really is history, because he's won the national wheelchair snooker title. He's lost count essentially, but he says 25 plus times.
Yeah. Let's call it 25, he says. When he played the screw back there with the rest, he just came a little bit short. An extra foot down the table would have made the pot he's just missed a little bit easier, but he might have even got him onto the red right centre, which may have well been what he was playing on, because if he could have landed on that red, almost where he is now, there would have been a route out. The good news is for him is that miss has at least blocked off the yellow bottom right, making David's work even trickier.
That's a lovely pot.
Still has a big problem though.
Yeah, we saw that. This is a little bit of a feature of Dave's semi-final, wasn't it? That he was just so aggressive, and he said in his interview it sometimes gets him into trouble, but sometimes he pulls it out as well. Has that just squared up on him? It has.
Might not be too bad though. He's bumped a bad ball into play, and he would have been long odds to clear up from where he was. So at least he's missed at a time where Tony has some work. He doesn't have an easy ball on himself. That's made the yellow even trickier. Not really lost a turn option on for that corner. Not a good option anyway. So may look to just leave Tony somewhere near the top left-hand corner. Although from what we saw earlier on, we know Dave wants to go and go aggressive. Don't think the yellow at the top of the table is in a position where he could clip it in thin and sort of fire across the diagonal of the table and try and make something happen. Doesn't look on.
So you see the first use for Dave at least, so the telescopic rest. Look for the loss of turn there. It's starting to get messy in that bottom right corner.
Just wonder, is it worth Tony trying the... No, I was thinking, is it worth trying the off-angle plant, but it really isn't, because, I mean, it's tall order to make it, so...
But probably red's going into danger, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd probably end up putting the red over the pocket, leaving a really easy loss of turn, and you're not developing the other red either, so it's not a great tactical option. But I'm not sure potting here is ideal. It all depends on this next shot, and he's a touch short coming across the table. Plan was to play this red and fire into the problem. It looks, well, it's a very much a tougher pot from where he was. So pull back, keep it tight. This is going to be a fascinating little battle right now. That's nicely job done for Dave. Just keep it tight. Don't see how Tony forces an opening. I feel like Dave's got the better layout, and he's got the patience and the 1-0 advantage to sort of play with as well. This tactical frame could well use up a decent percentage of the clock from here. Opens up the yellows a little bit. I think there's any way he can attack here. Maybe try and get the cue ball behind the 8 ball on the bottom cushion.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? You can tell he wants to. He's thinking about ways he can. But we've got a tactical frame on our hands here. Just 12 minutes left of the match. We'll come down to the clock a little bit.
If Dave can play the yellow sort of to the middle right-hand side of the table without leaving the red at the top on, he is sort of putting it in a position where it can be used as a brilliant breaker ball. But it looks like he's taken on the pot. What I was thinking is he could use it to play the yellow. Well, he's played an aggressive option trying to go into it, but I felt he could play that yellow off the other yellows to open up the whole pocket. Not necessarily in this visit, that wasn't my thinking, but put it in a position where it could be an option for later on. Okay, that may have just hurt him. Is there a loss of turn option on here? Because that would really turn things around.
Yeah, it'd put the cat in the monster pictures, wouldn't
I'm
it?
just wondering whether he could play the red onto the red at the bottom and just flick the yellow in. But it might be too risky because it might be flicking the yellow on potentially. But that shot, if he could get onto the red at the bottom to play that loss of turn, would certainly be on and be on with control. I think Dave might go here now. He's come round to see if there's a combination on the bottom right. Maybe play a plant.
4-ball plan, or do you reckon you cut out the middleman a little bit?
I was thinking 3, but it doesn't. It's not sure if it's absolutely on. It might double kiss and not play the yellow over the pocket. The yellow that you're playing may not come out. He could always try and pop the one bottom left and fire into it, but that's risky in itself. But I feel like good things would happen.
Get the sense that yellow closest to pocket just has to go in if you go into contact with it at all. Whoa. Well, wasn't I wrong?
Yeah, very.
But goodness me, I mean, I don't know how it's not dropped. I also don't know how Tony Southern's getting out of this. Referee Rich Rhodes calls a timeout. He wants to have a look at this.
Well, he's got to make sure the yellow can come out, because this is, as long as the yellow can come out, as in towards the top of the table, so right-hand side and up, then it won't be an impossible shot. But it has to come out one way or another. But I don't think it comes out to play the red. I think. Oh, is it touching ball on the red being called? It has, I think. Oh, that's huge.
If it's touching on the red, that helps.
Yeah, because he can just play the yellow. That was... Oh, that's a game changer. A complete game changer in this frame.
So, there you see Tony shortening the cue for a little bit of a Massey sort of style shot.
And there you can see it, touching the red as well. Yeah.
He's played that really well, and he's not touching ball on the yellow, so that is a perfect result for Tony Southern.
Dave will be very aggrieved. I mean... But to be fair, you said it, any touch on the yellow is likely to drop it in. But he would have taken that, because you'd have Tony in this situation rather than Dave as he is now. Oh, that's a complete game changer in his frame, because all of a sudden Tony Southern is favourite for it. All Dave's got is a clip off it and leave the cue ball at the top of the table. Has to reach a cushion, remember, which he has.
Pretty good line. Target was the black and the yellow to guard it a little bit. He's never expecting Tony to miss out of this snooker, but it's just making it a little bit tricky. Tony just asking if the red's frozen to the cushion. That's what he's asking referee Rich Rhodes. It would mean he'd have to hit a cushion after that red. There we see the answer that it obviously wasn't, because that would have been a very good example of that would have been a foul had that red been frozen to that cushion.
So gets the snooker. I'm just trying to work through a thought process of what would he do if he gets cue ball in hand here, because all Dave can do is try not to foul. He's behind in this, but it's about just trying to stay in the frame as long as he can, because it's certainly far from a guarantee. Just go and clear them up with cue ball in hand here if he was to get that foul.
Great hit.
And he won't get the foul.
That's a great hit from Dave Bowman. That's really impressive. Tony's got to find a way here of developing and moving his reds along. It's not enough for him to just consistently lay a pretty simple snooker. He needs to think about how he is going to end up winning this frame. How does he move these reds around, progress his advancement? That's a good start.
Yeah, I quite like getting that red out of the way.
And he's got a snooker as well, which is good, because the only yellow that Dave can see here is the one that Tony is all for Dave playing. So Dave's going to try and play the yellow on the bottom rail to the left, which might be cue ball in hand, should he miss. It's not necessarily a guarantee.
If he plays off one cushion here, he could play the loss of turn off one cushion. That would be perfect for him. There's certainly a shot on. Come off the left-hand side, full ball on the yellow. Yellow pots the red. Yellow stays in front of the red and he leaves nothing on. He sort of tried it off that one, but that's not really worked, because this has potentially left the chance on for Tony.
Yeah, it's the right line. If if he'd played that with any more pace, then that would have been close.
Needs a bounce.
Gets one.
Oh, it's going to be some equipment required here for sure. Just wonder, is the plant available? No, he's going to come off the side cushion, so he can't quite get to play the plant and go for the finish. So he's going to have to wait. Well, he's saying the yellow's frozen to a cushion, which is massive for Tony. I don't see how Dave plays this shot without opening things up. This is a very delicate operation. The cue ball has to reach the left-hand side cushion here. Oh, it reaches the bottom cushion, which is fine, because the yellow was already considered as hitting that cushion.
Yeah, he's not fouled, but he's left the plant, I think. I think moving that yellow has opened the reds up. It's a good shot to not foul, mind, because that was really fiddly. But there you go. Now the big question for Tony is, can he get out for the 8 ball?
Yeah, it's just that angle where it's not guaranteed. Needs a bounce. Okay, he got a big one. He's on the 8 ball. Quick glance at the clock as he was coming around the table as well.
Well, it's for 1-1 and to set us into a decider. Yeah, heart of the pocket. He was never missing that one, Tony Southern. So 1 each, 4.5 minutes to go. So round about prime spots for a deciding frame. That was a marathon, not a sprint. And good to see the pair of them having a bit of a giggle about it out there. It's what neither of them would have wanted coming into this final, because they're both attacking and aggressive players, and they both love to play their shots. So I'm sure within the midst of that verbal joust, there's a common ground that, you know, they wanted to have a nice open match and show off and show out a little bit.
It doesn't always play out that way. You have to play the balls. The balls dictate at times. We've seen that so many times. And how many times do we say finals are for winning? And that's what we have here. What chance now, though, of a 8-ball shootout for the title?
There's not a small chance of it. Yeah, it's growing, isn't it? Certainly more likely than it was a few minutes ago.
Yeah, 4:32. Certainly a chance, depending on the layout of the balls here. Cue ball is okay. Split is congested. But
break is dry.
Yeah, he's had a touch there, though, because the break's dry and he's left nothing on.
Yeah, threw his arm up there, Tony Southern, as if to say, oh, what can I do?
Yellows aren't horrendous here. Yeah, good pot. And all yellows actually potentially could work out here. I'm just trying to work the two together. I wonder whether the left-hand one of the two passes to the bottom left and then short position on the other one, but I don't think it does actually. So this yellow off the red would be the one just to open things up. Doesn't have to go, but also, and we talk about it a lot with clock management, if he does choose to go, try and be the only player that can win it.
Yes. Gotta pick your moments.
He plays the yellow off the yellow rather than yellow off the red, which the problem with that is it leaves another yellow down there as a bad ball. And unfortunately for him, the yellow that's gone up the table's not gone nicely either.
So 2 minutes, and Tony Southern fancies this. I think he's a little bit long on that.
He's got the one left centre. I wonder if he could slide it across the table and get underneath the first red in the top half of the table. 3/4 ball would allow him to get short position. No, he decided not to. I was thinking if you could get across to someone in the middle, you might be able to deal with the 2 in the top, and then you can come on down.
We can play one by the 8 ball, I think.
I think this is pulling back for accepting a draw here in the shootout. Although 1 minute 14, that yellow now goes. That's why Tony was tapping the table, because he's flicked the yellow on.
Oh, both going in helps. If he's on a yellow, and he is, he might have to go down earlier than he wanted to. This is on for David Beaumont.
Yeah, 2 going down helps with the speed of play because you've got 1 less ball to pop. It maybe doesn't help with the connections. This is back too far. He's really pinged that. He barely touched it and it zipped back.
I think he's a player who times the ball so well.
No
You can
doubt.
see it on his break, you can see it on his shots where he gets a little bit too much action. He must time the ball unbelievably. Oh, that was some effort. He'd have had a go. He'd have had a go, but they are going to settle for an 8 ball shootout. Pair of them have a little giggle, have a little look at the clock, and we are going the distance in this Ultimate Pool Wheelchair Showcase. We're going all the way. That's a lovely pot from Tony Southern to end the match.
8-ball shootout.
But it ends 1 frame each. And it will go to an 8 ball shootout to decide things. So 2 players will lag here, and it's important. We talk about how important it is to go first or second in a 6 red shootout. I would suggest it's even more important to choose which you prefer with an 8 ball shootout.
Would you prefer to go first or second?
First, always.
Let's put the pressure on, try and make
Always.
the pot to put the pressure on. So if you're unsure what we're talking about, it's going to be essentially 8 ball on the spot, cue ball behind the line, and it'll be 3 goes apiece, alternating like it is in a shootout. And whoever pots the most in the 3 wins the match. If they're all square, they keep going.
Yeah, I'm sure you're all familiar with a penalty shootout in football. It's the same sort of deal, only 3 shots each.
Dave's going for bottom left. What you tend to find with pool players is once they find the slot, they're normally very consistent with it. So the first one's big. Grimace, because that wasn't particularly close. Opportunity for Tony then.
Yeah, David's such a great potter that I'm a little bit surprised he was quite wide there. Not normally what we'd expect to see. Tony is very much from a snooker background. You fancy him in a potting contest, which this is, but it's also a test of nerve too. It's for 1-0 in the shootout. Oh, that's heart of the pocket.
Right in the heart of the pocket, and that was cued beautifully. He's found the spot.
Yeah, couldn't strike that any sweeter.
Is Dave coming across for a chat, or is he coming across for a change of sides? I think he might try this one from the left. So taking the 8 ball bottom right. No, he's going back.
I think with these guys, they're used to the idea of shootout. You sort of know your spot, don't you? Oh, much better from David Beaumont. Much more confident. Which, considering he missed his first one, was impressive. Now, if Tony Southern hits, he's at match point. You can see he goes to the exact same point. Same process, lines it up, takes aim and fires. Yeah, bang. 2-1.
And he has really got it in his sights now. He won't really worry about what's going on the other side. He knows he's won if it's missed, but he'll be sat there thinking, if I make the next one, I win. That's all that matters.
So Dave Beaumont must pot. If he doesn't, the Ultimate Pool Wheelchair Showcase winner is Tony Southern. And it is a wide for Dave Beaumont, which will give the victory to Tony Southern. The first time GB Wheelchair Q Sports has been on the Ultimate Pool stage, and Tony Southern, one of its greatest exponents in this country, is going to take away the first trophy. Terrific performance from Tony. Presentations next.
Full magician mode. Oh my God. So again, Tom Evans is a champion. 3 straight for top can.
World Masters champion, Declan Brennan. The safe cracker opens up the door. What a shot. Wow, Carl Morris.
Wow. And Stevie Dempsey is a Pro Series champion. What a shot from Jordan Shepherd. That is magnificent.
All right, folks, welcome back inside the arena. For the very first time, we saw some fantastic wheelchair pool as part of Ultimate Pool, and long may that continue. All 4 players played a fantastic part in today's showpiece and indeed showcase, and let's hear it for our runner-up, David Beaumont. Dave, well played. Always tough to lose in a shootout. I feel I can trot out all my old football cliches and all the rest of it, but great performance, great day, I'd imagine, though, all in all.
All in all, yeah. It's a bit disappointed, but we said before we came it was just going to go all out, no fudging, no snookering. But he can't help himself.
We saw you guys having a great laugh out there, and we said it on commentary that you'd have much preferred, both of you, I think, to have a nice open one to attack and show off a little bit, but sometimes the balls just do dictate it.
Yeah, you get sucked in, don't you, and you can't do anything else really. But no, Tony played well, so fair play to him.
Well, we've loved having you along, David, and we hope to see you back on the Ultimate Pool stage very soon. Well played. David Bowman, everyone. As for our winner, it's another trophy to add to the very large collection of Tony Southern. Well played, Tony. How much have you enjoyed your first Ultimate Pool experience?
Fantastic. One of the best days pool, looking around and seeing all the arena and all the good players who are here. Brilliant. Really loved the whole day.
And Dave said there you couldn't help yourself forcing that second frame tactical, but you did what you got to do.
The ball's really dictated sometimes, and after miscuing on the last shot in the first frame, I thought the way the break went wasn't great. So yeah, sometimes it just happens, but I probably do prefer the tactical sometimes, as Dave might know.
Well, you showed today all facets of the game, which is what it's all about. But also the 8-ball shootout. I know you've been in a few of them down the years, but they never get less entertaining to watch. What's it like to play in?
Very, very nerve-wracking. I played Islam in one early on the year, and I think it went to something like 7-all before I missed one. But yeah, people say, why do you do it over the corner pocket? It just feels very awkward, but you get a good line into the black from where I was on the side. So I just prefer to play that sort of shot. But yeah, I'm pleased to get 2 out of 2. I'm glad I didn't have to go for the third one.
Well, whatever you do, it works for you, mate. 2 fantastic pots. And it's time to get you your first Ultimate Pool trophy. Going to bring in Ultimate Pool director Zach Leonard to make the presentations. The Ultimate Pool Wheelchair Pool Showcase. Tony Southern. Pro Series quarterfinals coming up next.
In full magician mode. Oh my God.
Again, Tom Bevins is a champion, 3 straight to top 10.
World Masters champion, Declan Brennan. The safe cracker opens up the door. What a shot. Oh, wow, Carl Morris.
Wow. And Stevie Dempsey is a Pro Series champion. What a shot. What a shot from Jordan Shepherd. That is magnificent.